Hello, this is Tallie Consortium Services and the Right Hand Persons LLC. Today is Saturday, August 1st, 2020. Crime Perspective today, making amends, telling our side of the story. How did we get here today? A self-report, lived experiences, our life history, our views, our beliefs, our perceptions, and our perspectives. I have a title: The Hunt Family, one of the most powerful families in Dallas, Texas, and United States history. The Black Perspective series by Tallie Consulting Services and the Right Hand Persons LLC. I'm actually a fourth generation Texan, a third generation Dallas Texan. H.L. Hunt was born in Ramsey and Carson Township, Fayette County, Illinois, the youngest of 8 children. He moved to Arkansas and started a cotton plantation in the early 1900s. His cotton plantation was flooded. He turned his $100 into more than $100,000 gambling in New Orleans. With his winnings, he purchased oil properties in the neighborhoods of El Dorado, Arkansas. In the negotiation over cheese and crackers at the Dolphins Hotel in Dallas with the wildcatter who discovered the field, Dad Joyner, Hunt secured title to what was then the largest known oil deposit in the world. In 1957, Fortune estimated that Hunt had a fortune of $400 to $700 million. Wikipedia 2020. H.L. Hunt will eventually moved to Dallas. Lamar Hunt, H.L. Hunt's son, owned the Dallas, Texas, in which he moved to Kansas City and formed the Kansas City Chiefs football team. And he was a chief investor in the Chicago Bulls. Wikipedia 2020. Nilsson Bunker Hunt developed oil fields in Libya and almost took over the silver exchange. Wikipedia H.L. Hunt 2020. Did the Hunt family go to war over Gaddafi? Over oil fields in Libya. The civil rights leader, non-violent leader, Dr. Martin Luther King, right-hand man, passed away and had his funeral this week. There was a lot of great speakers at his funeral. He had 3 presidents speak at his funeral. He had he had President Obama, who's from Chicago. You had President Bush, who's from Dallas, Texas. You had President Clinton, who's from Arkansas. Now, all the speakers were great at the nonviolent civil rights leader, U.S. Representative John Lewis funeral. NBC News 2020. Democrat Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, mentioned John Lewis' favorite word, the truth, or tell the truth. NBC News 2020. Now, H.L. Hunt had a radio show and a newspaper called Hunt for Truth, American Archive of Public Broadcasting, 1968. President Obama mentioned John Lewis listened to Martin Luther King on the radio when he was a teenager and was inspired by his message. NBC News 2020. H.L. Hunt, Dallas, Texas billionaire at the time, owned the radio station Dr. Martin Luther King used to speak on, and H.L. Hunt owned about 600 lines across the country with it in 2019. H.L. Hunt had feared that Martin Luther King was going to be chosen as Robert Kennedy running mate, and he did not want Robert Kennedy to become president of the United States, which is believed to lead to his assassination, Wilmington 2020. Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated in April 1968, and Robert Kennedy was assassinated on June of 1968. Wikipedia, Dr. Martin Luther King, Robert Kennedy 2020. H.L. Hunt gave his perspective on the John Birch Society business such as he had in Kuwait, his perspective on life, on perspectives related to Dallas, Texas in a documentary that took place in Dallas, Texas, 1967, 1968, American Archive of Public Broadcasting, 1968. And this is in the references that I will be providing. H.L. Hunt drove his own car, American Archive of Public Broadcasting, 1968. Now, this is no disrespect to the Koch brothers. In 1958, Fred Koch, father of the Koch brothers, became one of the first members of the John Birch Society, but they did leave the John Birch Society by the 1970s. Wikipedia, Fred Koch 2020. The John Birch Society was most definitely against communism. A handbill was circulated by extremists in Dallas, Texas on November 21st, 1963, just one day before President Kennedy visited the city, and it was before President Kennedy was assassinated, and it basically said, wanted President John F. Kennedy. Nilsson Bunker Hunt of Texas served as a member of council of the John Birch Society from 1976 to 1985, and then from 2007 until his passing. The John Birch Society, 1999-2020. Dallas, Texas has a John Birch Society location and members currently. See 2020. Dallas, Texas also have had the Ku Klux Klan. And I'm not comparing the John Birch Society to the Ku Klux Klan. And Dallas, Texas also had the Scottish Rite Knights of Golden Circle, which is rumored to be similar to the Ku Klux Klan. I don't know what it is today. Now, John Carrington, the former right-hand man to billionaire H.L. Hunt, reported Hunt's possible involvement in the deaths of President John F. Kennedy, Dr. Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, and the Irishman Jimmy Hoffa within 2020. Madeline, President Lyndon B. Johnson, mistress of 21 years, reported when she first met H.L. Hunt, he parked where she parked and he walked in with her. JFK Assassination Truth 2013. She had a meeting regarding how H.L. Hunt was dressed and told them, let's pitch in and buy him some clothes. It is Christmas. JFK Assassination Truth 2013. Melody reported they laughed at her and told her that was the richest man in the world. JFK Assassination Truth 2013. Tacky Schema. Now, Dallas, Texas billionaire H.L. Hunt was the original financier of the Nation of Islam, CHOP 2018. According to Gruvilu 2, a strict no-kun zone, 2012, H.L. Hunt was given the Nation of Islam $100,000 a year and funding the Ku Klux Klan at the same time. The H.L. Hunt influenced the assassination of Malcolm X. Now, the Nation of Islam, or some people call it NOI, is an African American political and new religious movement founded in Detroit, Michigan, by Wallace Fard Muhammad on July 4th, 1930. Its stated goals are to improve the spiritual, mental, social, economic conditions of African Americans. Critics have described the theology of the organization as promoting anti-Semitism, anti-LGBT rhetoric, and of promoting racial separatism, black nationalism, and of promoting black supremacist beliefs in the past. Ford disappeared in June of 1934. Its successor, Elijah Muhammad, established places of worship called temples or mosques, and a school named Muhammad University of Islam. Malcolm X publicly renounced the Nation of Islam and founded the Islamic Muslim Mosque Incorporated, MMI, and the Pan-African Organization of Afro-American Unity, OAAU, Malcolm X was assassinated in 1965. Now, once again,